Right. The 7th month, the 17th day of the month. Right. This is when the ark rested. Okay. So this is not just something to keep in mind, because in the 7th month, on the 17th day of the month, what are we doing? Who said that? Somebody said that. I don't know. It must be new. What are we doing?
I hope it was somebody.
What are we in? We are in the tabernacle. Okay? We are in the tabernacle at that time. Okay? We are 2 days into the tabernacle. Okay? This is a commemoration of when the ark settled upon the mount. Okay. Read.
And the waters decreased continually until the 10th month. In the 10th month, on the first day of the month, were the tops of the mountain seen. And it came to pass at the end of the 40 days that Noah opened the window of the ark which he had made. And he sent forth a raven, which went forth to and fro until the waters were dried up from the earth. Also he sent forth a dove from him to see if the waters were abated off the face of the ground.
Come on.
But the dove found no rest for the sole of her foot, and she returned unto him into the ark. For the waters were on the face of the whole earth. Then he put forth his hand and took her and pulled her in unto him into the ark. And he stayed yet another 7 days. And again he sent forth the dove out of the ark. And the dove came into him in the evening, and lo, in her mouth was a olive leaf, pluck it off. So no one knew that the waters were abated from off the earth.
Right.
And he stayed yet other 7 days, and sent forth the dove, which returned not again unto him any more.
Right.
And it came to pass in the 601st year, in the 1st month, the 1st day of the month, the waters were dried up from the earth.
Right. So that last time he sent out the dove, he didn't come back. So what that told him? Right. There's enough abundance. Right. Because he came back with the olive leaf, so it must have found something to come back with the olive. But he said, no, it's not time yet. Because he understood that when it goes and it doesn't come back, that means it found rest out there. It found abundance that it had no need to return, right? So then he knew that, okay, now it is time for us to go forth. Because we leave now, we have no need to return. All right, so he used, the dove, right, to almost like a meter, right, to understand what's going on out there. Because how big was the window on the ark? Who remembers that? We did the measurements. How big was the window on the ark? See, he was paying attention. It spoke of the window. How big was the window? A cubit. Right. 1. So as big as this place was, you had one window about this size to look out. You can't see much going on at that point. Right? One little window in this huge ark. He said, make the window a cubit. That's it. Right? So they don't know what was going on outside. Okay. That's why he was forced to just use the bird to see what's going on. Because most I wasn't putting on a show. You know, when you didn't have glass bottom on the ark, so you could see everything going on. Nothing. You couldn't see what was going on. You had to have faith. Okay. Read.
12th verse. And he stayed yet other 7 days, and sent forth the dove, which returned not again unto him any more. And it came to pass in the 601st year, in the 1st month, the 1st day of the month, the waters were dried up from the earth, from off the earth. And Noah removed the covering of the ark, and looked, and behold, the face of the ground was dry. And the second month, on the 7th and 20th day of the month, was the earth dry. And the power spake unto Noah, saying, Go forth of the ark, thou and thy wife and thy sons wives with thee. Bring forth with thee every living thing that is with thee, of all flesh, both of fowl and of cattle, and of every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth, that they may breed abundantly in the earth, and be fruitful and multiply upon the earth. Right. And Noah went forth, and his sons and his wife, and his sons' wives with him. Every beast, every creeping thing, every fowl, and whatsoever creepeth upon the earth, after their kinds, went forth out of the ark. And Noah builded an altar unto the Most High, right, and took of every clean beast and of every clean fowl, and offered burnt offerings on the altar. And the Most High smelled a sweet savor. And the Most High said in his heart, I will not again curse the ground any more for man's sake. Right. For the imagination of man's heart is evil from his youth.
Right. The imagination of man's heart is evil from his youth. This is evident in our lives. We know that our children must be instructed. Why? If you don't instruct them, what's going to happen? They're going to go the way of evil, right? Because where does the evil come from?
Their imagination.
From where?
Their imagination.
Their imagination. It comes from within them. Okay? It comes from within them. Remember, Satan cannot tempt you with anything that's not already in you. Okay? He tempts you with the things that are already in you. He don't conjure up things to show you. You already know those things. Right? So, proof. Let's prove that real quick. Get the Apocrypha. The book of Sirach. (30:1). Sirach 30, verse 1.
Sirach 30, verse 1. Sirach 30:1. He that loveth his son causeth him oft to feel the rod, that he may have joy of him in the end.
You know?
He that chastiseth his son shall have joy in him, and shall rejoice of him among his acquaintance.
Read.
He that teacheth his son grieveth the enemy, and before his friends he shall rejoice of him. Though his father die, yet he is, though he were not dead, for he have left one behind him that is like himself.
Right, so we instruct our children, we must instruct our children and train them up so we can have joy in them. Because if we don't train them up and instruct them, they're going to go the way of evil. All right? They're going to go the way of wickedness. All right? Also give me Proverbs 22:15. So from a youth, we have evil within us.
Proverbs 22:15. Foolishness is bound in the heart of a child,
right,
but the rod of correction shall drive it far from him.
Right, it drives away the foolishness. So the foolishness has to be driven away. Why? Because we're born with evil within us. So you don't have to ask where the evil comes from. It's in there. Right? Sometimes you bust your head, wait, learn how to lie. Right? You didn't have to learn how to lie. Lying was already built in. Right? What you have to teach him is how to tell the truth. Right? How to be honest, how to be upright, how to be good, how to be wrong, how to be evil. That's already built in. It came with the flesh. Right? It came with the flesh. So you don't have to worry about that part. You don't have to add nor add wickedness to your children. But you need to add righteousness to them. Everybody understand that? Let's go back to Genesis.
Genesis 8 and 21. And the Most High smelled a sweet savor, and the Most High said in his heart, I will not again curse the ground any more for man's sake, for the imagination of man's heart is evil from his youth. Neither will I again smite any more everything living as I have done. While the earth remaineth, seed time and harvest, and cold and heat, and summer and winter, and day and night shall not cease.
Right. So while the earth remaineth, it's going to be seed time and harvest, meaning that what? The seasons will be there. Right? They will always have seasons. As the earth, during this time of the flood, there were no seasons. It was just rain. There was no seasons. There was no change. There was no sunny days. There was no, oh, wow, it's a little bit different today. No, every day was just rain. Right? Seasons were paused. He paused everything. Right? He put everything still and just rained down on the earth and flood the earth. Okay. So while the earth is here, he made a promise that he would never flood the earth again. All right. So that brings us to the beginning of the 9th chapter. Questions?
Let's finish now.
All right. Let's read on.
And the powers blessed Noah and his sons, and said unto them, be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the earth.
Right.
And the fear of you and the dread of you shall be upon every beast of the earth.
So where did Noah get this from? How did he know that this was the instruction that they should have? What is he repeating? Right? Creation. What did it say? He's repeating word for word what Genesis, the 1st chapter, said in Genesis 1:27. He's repeating it word for word. He said to his sons the same exact thing that you read. Right? Genesis 1, verse 28. Right? Read Genesis 1, verse 28.
Genesis 1 and 28. And the powers blessed them, and the powers said unto them, be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the earth, and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea,
right,
and over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth.
All right, let's go back to Genesis 9 and 1. Or 9 and 2. Well, 9 and 1. Sorry, 9 and 2. 9 and 1.
Genesis 9 and 1. And the powers blessed Noah and his sons, and said unto them, be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the earth. And the fear of you and the dread of you shall be upon every beast of the earth, and upon every fowl of the air, upon all that moveth upon the earth, and upon all the fishes of the sea. Into your hand are they delivered.
Right, so he let you know, he said the same exact thing yet again, because the Most High don't change. It was an instruction given to us to be fruitful, right? To multiply, and to replenish the earth. And then all animals, everything to be in what? Subject to you.
Right, have dominion.
Have dominion. Animals not supposed to rule over you. You're supposed to rule over them. This is what the Most High prescribed from the beginning. If something was to be eaten, not eaten, or how you farm, everything was given to man, how to till the earth, how to handle the earth and what the substance therein. Everything upon the earth was given to man to maintain these things. Okay? It was either given to man to maintain them the right way, correctly, or what? Or sin and maintain the wrong way and destroy the earth. Okay? Man today, they have order over the earth, but they destroy the earth. Right? They have the beasts, they lock them in cages. Right? They don't know what to do with them. Right? They mess up what they call, you learn this in school about the ecosystem. Right? They jack up the ecosystem by taking what they want and forgetting about the other things. Everything has a balance to it. The Most High put every creature on this earth has a purpose. Right? Even if only thing you may not know the purpose, but doesn't mean it doesn't have a purpose. Every creature got a purpose. Right? The purpose may not affect you directly, but in some way, shape, or form, it will have an impact on you. Okay. What's that? Bees. Right. Bees, very important insect. Right. Gives us food. It gives the other plant, pollinates the other plant. It causes a lot of things to take place. Bees. You just look at it as an insect, a pest. But it does so much for the system. All right? It is more than you could imagine. All right? So the Most High is very balanced. Everything has a purpose. So if everything upon the earth have a purpose, don't you got a purpose? What's your purpose? Serve the Most High? Right? Right? Right, to bring Yaquab get to the Most High. We have a purpose. Right? We have to praise the Most High, we have to be righteous, and we have to bring our brothers and sisters back to the Father. That's our purpose. Okay? Everything else is things we got to handle so that we can do our purpose. All right? We must eat, we must take care of we must be first fruits of what we're teaching our people. We got to apply these laws so we the first fruits, so we can show the goodness of Yahweh. So we can make his light, shine his light upon the earth. All right, read.
Third verse. Every moving thing that liveth shall be meat for you. Even as the green herb have I given you all things. But flesh with the life thereof.
So when it says shall be meat for you, what does that mean? Shall you eat every moving thing? What does that mean? Shall be meat thereof. What does that mean? Shall be meat thereof. That meat for you. What does that word meat mean? Food? Is that all that word meat means? Good. Who said good? Right. Means good for you. Everything shall be good for you. You have to use everything in their purpose, what it's created for, but it's going to be good for you. Right? If when it comes to clean meats, you eat those meats. Unclean meats, you don't eat them meats. They serve their purpose. Ride the horse. Don't eat the horse. Right? There's a purpose for them. Don't use things out of their purpose. Everybody understand this? Then it will be good for you. Okay? Maybe you're building a structure. You use elephant. You know what I mean? Knock down a building. I don't know. Everything has a purpose. You learn how to use that purpose. Okay? Read. But don't eat them. Well, eat some. They're poachers, right? Go to Africa. They cut the damn tusk off the damn off the elephant, and that ends up injuring the elephant, and they end up dying, just so they can have something pretty around their neck. What sense does that make? Right? Yeah. What kind of medication? That's why you got to be careful of pharmaceutical companies. You don't know what you're putting in your body. You could be putting rhinoceros tusk. You'll tell me we need rhinoceros tusk? We don't need it. It has properties because those properties come from the herbs that the rhinoceros eats. And now it is in its tusk. So then they get it there, they found it there, and because they could care less about the life of that animal, they kill them for it.
That's
but they don't, right? Go ahead.
That's why the side effects give you thoughts of suicide,
right.
diarrhea.
Right? Medication is ridiculous. Right? Get one effect and like 35 side effects. Right there. Right? So we don't eat these things. Okay? Read.
5th verse. And surely your blood of your lives will I require. At the hand of every beast will I require it. At the hand of the man, at the hand of every man's brother will I require the life of man.
Right? So what is he saying there? What law is he saying there? Thou shalt not what? Kill, right? Thou shalt not murder. Right? So what? They had the laws. They had the commandments. The law, if someone to kill somebody, what's the law on that? What should happen to the person that killed a person? They should be life for life. Simple. So don't let nobody have you think that the law that we follow started in the time of Moses. Because we nowhere near Moses yet. And they got all the same commandments that Moses had. So we've been instructed since we were put here. Man never lived on the earth without instruction, right? Say it out. Cain? Oh, why did he spare Cain? Because evil was going to be in the earth and it was going to multiply. And he was well aware of that. Remember, the Most High had his plan before the plan plays out. You know what I mean? You know, this is the script. Most High got his plan before the plan plays out. He already knew evil was going to multiply. There must be darkness to give purpose to light. There was never, the Most High never had in thought to have a utopian environment on this earth where everybody just did right and love and we skip hands and hold hands, skipping through the meadows. What kind of God do we serve? A God of what? War. In order for there to be war, there have to be what? Opposition. So there's always going to be opposition. That's the God we serve. You have to fight, but you have to win. That's what it is. You don't get the victory if you don't have no opponent. How could you experience the victory and you have nobody to fight? Right? The Most High is a man of war. He said, I create the good and I create evil. Yes, Cain did wickedly, but he spared Cain because he knew that Cain was going to continue to go. Corruption was coming to the earth. He knew that from the time Adam fell, that corruption was coming to the earth. Right? The serpent, you should look at the serpent. Most High created the serpent, right? That spoke to Eve. So he created the path of sin as well as the path of righteousness. Just to see what are you going to do. So the drama and the wickedness that you experience, the things that come in your life is all a test. Because the Most High looking for warriors. He wants spirits that's going to stand up for righteousness. Right? Right? It's a judge. It's a meter. Right? How do you know how strong you are? Trials. You never lift nothing heavy. You can think you're strong. Right? And then you go to lift something heavy and realize, man, I'm not as strong as I thought I was. Right? Okay. It was someone. It was someone. Absolutely. All the trees were someone. That was the first chapter, first portion. All the trees were people, but we'll go over that. Right? Right? They all were people. Okay? That had information that the Most High gave them to contain. And he said, freely go and learn from all of them, but don't learn from that. Right? Don't learn from that what that person's teaching. The serpent said, man, listen, you could, man, there's good power over there. There's good things over there. I've been over there. It's good. Right? You beguile Eve to go take of that too. That knowledge, that understanding, those practices. Right? And she brought it to Adam. So from that point, sin has entered the world. So then what? Can't trip on Cain now. Right? Sin has entered the world. Cain is just a product of the sin that entered the world. You understand that? He's an offspring of the sin that entered into the world. So he says, spare him. The people want to kill him because they found out that what? He killed somebody. That tells you that what? The people knew the law. Because if somebody killed somebody, the people knew that if you found you killed somebody, what they ought to do to you. That's why he put a mark on him that nobody would stone him. Because they would have stoned him. Because they already had the law to stone him. They already knew that they were supposed to do. All right? So you get a lot of clues as we go into these scriptures of what was going on in the earth at that time. All right? Before the flood. They had the commandments. They had order. They had all those things. All right? Let's read.
The 6th verse. Whoso sheddeth man's blood, by man shall his blood be shed. For in the image of the powers made he man.
Right?
And you, be ye fruitful and multiply, bring forth abundantly in the earth, and multiply therein.
Come on.
And the power spake unto Noah and to his sons with him, saying, and I behold, I establish my covenant with you, and with your seed after you, and with every living creature that is with you, of the fowl, of the cattle, and of every beast of the earth with you, from all that go out of the ark to every beast of the earth. And I will establish my covenant with you, neither shall all flesh be cut off any more by the waters of a flood, neither shall there any more be a flood to destroy the earth.
Right.
And the power said, this is the token of the covenant which I made between me and you,
right,
and every living creature that is with you for perpetual generations. And I do set my bow in the cloud.
I do set what?
My bow in the cloud.
Read on.
And it shall be for a token of a covenant between me and the earth.
So what bow is he talking about?
Rainbow.
The rainbow. He set his bow in the clouds, and it is a token. Okay. So anytime you see the rainbow, you know that that's a token saying what? What does it mean? What does a rainbow mean? And the Most High will not destroy all living again. He will not destroy all living again upon the earth. Okay. Now, as an abomination nowadays, I know what's coming, right? You know, that's why the fact that the LGBT still using our rainbow to represent their wickedness is a blasphemous. That's how you know it's of Satan, right? It's straight Satan. A lot of people have, make tolerance. What they say, they teach tolerance and everything. We don't got to tolerate Satan, okay? Because just the fact that they use this rainbow shows they're against the Most High God. That they hate Yahweh and his way, all right? You cannot be of the LBGT and love the Most High. Everybody understand that? Clear. Sham. Con. Let's get that. Sirach 43. And 11.
Sirach 43 and 11. Look upon the rainbow and praise him that made it. Very beautiful it is in the brightness thereof.
Come on.
It compasses the heaven about with a glorious circle, and the hands of the Most High have bended it.
Come on.
By his commandment he making the snow to fall apace, and send us swiftly the lightnings of his judgment.
Right. So everything is according to the Most High. He put that rainbow up there, right, and bended it and set it in the clouds. And now we know what it's for. We see it. We say, oh, it's a reminder that the Most High won't. He be merciful to us. Mercy is what we're reminded of. Compassion, that he will not destroy mankind on the earth again by way of a flood. He won't do that. Okay. So just keep that in mind when you see a rainbow popping out. You know that is a sign for the Most High God.
It's not LGBT.
It's not LGBT. Oh, look at the homo. No. That's wicked. Right? Get 2nd Ezra 3 and 10. That's really apocryphal. Matter of fact. Three and 7. 2nd Ezra 3 and 7.
Second Ezra 3 and 7.
Uh-huh.
And unto him thou givest commandment to love thy way,
right,
which he transgressed, and immediately thou appointed death in him and his generations, of whom came nations, tribes, people, and kindreds out of number.
Right. So who's this him? It's talking about Adam. Okay, it's talking about Adam. After him. All right. When you read up higher in the chapter, he's talking about Adam. Read on.
And every people walked after their own will.
They did what?
Walked after their own will.
Come on.
And did wonderful things before thee.
Come on.
And despised thy commandments.
Right, so everybody started doing their own thing. Despise the commandments of the Most High God. This is why the Most High rained down and flooded the earth. Read on.
And again in parts of the time, thou brought up the flood upon those that dwelt in the world, and destroyed them.
Yep.
And it came to pass in every of them that as death was to Adam, so was the flood to these.
Come on.
Nevertheless, one of them thou leftest, namely Noah with his household, of whom came all righteous men.
Of whom came what?
All righteous men.
Of whom came all righteous men. All righteous men come through. Read on.
And it happened that when they that dwelt upon the earth began to multiply, and had gotten them many children, and were a great people, they began again to be more unrighteous than the first.
Read on.
Now when they lived so wickedly before thee, thou didst choose thee a man from among them, whose name was Abraham,
right?
And whom thou lovest, unto him only thou showest thy will, and madest an everlasting covenant with him, promising him that thou wouldst never forsake his seed. And unto him thou gavest Isaac. Unto Isaac also thou gavest Jacob and Esau. As for Jacob, thou didst choose him to thee, and put by Esau, and so Jacob became a great multitude.
Right. So what are we reading here? This is a synopsis of everything that the Most High has done, right? And how the generation started from Adam, and then people came out of Adam was corrupted, but there was one seed in Noah. So he grabbed Noah, put him aside. Then boom, Noah comes now. And he's going to have his sons, and then people are going to come again, and they're going to get even worse corrupted than they were the first time. But there's going to be one seed again, and that seed is Israel. So we'll show you that the Most High doesn't change. This is a cycle with the Father. It was never that every nation was going to serve Yahweh. It was never that way. It was never set forth that way, right? It was always set that I'm going to have my chosen. Even in the kingdom of heaven, the Most High is going to have his chosen. Everybody understand that? It is time for his chosen to rise up. It's time for the earth to be reigned by his chosen. That's the difference. That his chosen will be on top. There will still be nations. There's still going to be kindreds and tongues in the kingdom. There's still going to be correction and judgment in the kingdom. We have to get a understanding. Yahweh don't change. Everybody understand that? He does not change. Once we come to home with that understanding, our imagination needs to slow down. You need to cast off your imaginations and read the word for what it's saying. Get to know the Most High Yahweh. That's why we're in this portion. So we could learn things his will. So we could profess his way. Better we know what he's about, then we can start to get rid of all that imagination that we got. Stop looking for a utopian society where we all just go to be just all hugs and what the priest used to say, all day suckers, something like that. Give away candies and all that, right? It ain't gonna be that way. The Most High always gonna have order. It's always gonna be order. It's always gonna be the top and there's gonna be a bottom. We just tired of being on the bottom, okay? All right, so we need to get off the bottom. That's what we need to do. All right, time that we be on top. Somebody got to be at the bottom, but it ain't gonna be us. All right, let's read on. Let's go back to Genesis 9. That's what I was trying to. Where you at? Where we at? 14. Break at 17. Go up to 17.
Genesis 9 and 14. And it shall come to pass when I bring a cloud over the earth, that the bow shall be seen in the cloud.
Right.
And I will remember my covenant, which is between me and you and every living flesh.
Right.
And the water shall no more become a flood to destroy all flesh. And the bow shall be in the cloud, and I will look upon it, that I may remember the everlasting covenant between the powers and every living creature of all flesh that is upon the face of upon the earth.
Right. So what? That cloud, when you see a cloudy day, that's when you see the bow show itself. When the sun comes out from a cloud, you see the bow be revealed in the clouds. To show that the Most High created this, He set it in the heavens for us to look upon it and to be reminded of His existence. Reminded that Yahweh is the power. Every time you see that bow in the sky, be reminded that Yahweh is the power. Khan?
Right.
At this point, we're going to take a break. We're going to take a 3 o'clock break. We'll break for about a half an hour or so, and then we'll blow the horn when it's time to reconsume. All right? Hallelujah. Any